Hey everybody, this is the video for angled pair relationships, the worksheet, as part of our section 1.5 in our geometry curriculum. First thing I just wanted us to look at and recap is adjacent angles, linear pairs, and vertical angles, okay? We've been working with these for the past, week or so, and we should know how these relationships and angle pairs appear in our graphics. So an adjacent angle, just again, is two angles that share a common vertex and side, but have no common interior point. Okay, so angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. Now, what it says here, no common interior point, that would look something like this. You have an angle, and then you have a second one branch off like this. Okay, so those would not be adjacent angles. Okay, because that's an interior point right here. A linear pair is two adjacent angles that form a straight line. So angle 1 and angle 2 form a straight line. That's a linear pair, 180 degrees. Vertical angles, two angles whose sides form linear pairs across from each other, always congruent and equal. So remember, you have your congruent, and you show that with your marks. Angle 4 and angle 5 are vertical angles, they're congruent. Angle 3 and angle 6 are also congruent to each other. Example 1, identify pairs of linear pairs and vertical angles. So we're going to try and list the ones that we see here. Linear pairs, straight line here, two separate linear pairs there. It could be 1 and 4, it could be 2 and 3. Okay, so let's write those down. Linear, I'm just going to put LP, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Okay, if we take it the other way, we have 1 and 2, and we have 4 and 3. Vertical angles, though, we have angle 4 and angle 2, so I'm going to put VA. And we have 1 and 3. I'm going to slide, I guess I can't slide it down. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, in here we have plenty of linear pairs and vertical angles. Okay, if we draw, just look at our two parallel lines right here. We have 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 are all linear pairs. But unfortunately, that's not it. There's more. But wait, there's more. If we take a look at this line here, we have 1 and 3 is a linear pair, 5 and 7, 2 and 4, 6 and 8. So a lot of linear pairs within this one. Vertical angles, 1 and 4. We also have 5 and 8. And if we keep looking, we also have 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. Let me just separate these. Okay, same thing on 3 and 4. Identify pairs of linear pairs and vertical angles. Why don't you try 3 and 4 on your own? And then when you submit your work, I'll see how they go. Use 1 and 2, this should say, as your examples. Use 1 and 2 as your examples. Okay. All right, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to find the missing angles. Well, if I see angle X, and angle 112 degrees, I notice that these are vertical angles. which means they're congruent. So x equals 112 degrees. If I notice here, we have the x degree and 124, and that's a linear pair, which means they equal 180. So x plus 124 equals 180. You need to subtract 124 on both sides. And we get x equals 56. This one requires a little bit of work. We have angle x, angle y, angle z, and I noticed that the 43 degrees and y are vertical angles, which means that y equals 43 degrees. Okay, so we know that this is 43. If you notice though, if I draw this line, that's a linear pair. So x plus 43 needs to equal 180. Minus 43 on both sides, and you get x equals 137 degrees. Now we should also notice that angle x and angle z are vertical angles, which means that angle x and angle z are the same or congruent. So z is equal to, sorry about that, 137 degrees. Okay, so why don't you take your time, try 10, 11, and 12 on your own, and I'll check your answers when you submit them. Okay, 13 and 14, again, we have pairs of vertical angles. I'll erase those in a second. Here's our vertical angles, okay? Which means we could set these two angles equal to each other. 6x plus 7 equals 8x minus 17. We got to get those x values together, so minus 6x on both sides. 6x's cancel. 7 equals 2x minus 17. Add 17 to both sides. And 24 equals 2x. Divide by 2. And x equals 12. Okay, let's change this color up. If you notice here, though, for number 14, we have a straight line, which means that these two angles create a linear pair. So 11x minus 15 plus 5x minus 13 equals 180. Combine your like terms. 11 plus 5 makes 16x. Whoops. Negative 15 minus 13 makes negative 28, which equals 180. If we add 28 to both sides, we get 16x equals 208. Okay, your last step here is to divide both sides by 16. And x equals 208 divided by 16, which is 13. Okay, use what I just showed you in 13 and 14 to complete 15 and 16. As we keep going, we come across some more definitions we know. Complementary is 90 degrees. Supplementary is 180 degrees, excuse me. Example 17 and 18, find the measure of each angle. Well, angle 1 and angle 2 are complements of each other, which means 90 degrees. If the measure of angle 1 is 64, let's find the measure of angle 2. Well, angle 2 plus 64 needs to equal 90. If you subtract 64, the measure of angle 2, if we subtract 64 on both sides, the measure of angle 2 is equal to 90 minus 64 is 26 degrees. angle 3 and angle 4 are supplements of each other, which means equals 180 degrees. If the measure of angle 4 is 28, what's the measure of angle 3? So the measure of angle 3 plus 28 equals 180. Subtract 28 on both sides, and the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180 minus 28 makes 152. Okay, use the examples in 17 and 18 to complete 19 and 20. 21 and 22. Let me just see here. Okay. Use the information given to find the measure of each angle. So it says angle A and angle B are complementary, which we know is 90 degrees. If the measure of angle A is 3x plus 2, and the measure of angle B is x minus 4, find the measures of each. Okay, so we need to solve. So I'm going to take angle A and angle B, and we're going to add them together. So 3x plus 2 plus x minus 4 equals, complementary we said, is 90 degrees. Combine your like terms. 3x plus x makes 4x. 2 minus 4 is negative 2, which equals 90. Add 2 to both sides, and we get 4x equals 92. Divide by 4 on both sides, and x equals 92 divided by 4 is 23. Now it says find the measure of angle A and angle B. Well, the measure of angle A is equal to 3 times 23 plus 2. Notice I just took 23 and plugged it in for x. The measure of angle A, 23 times 3 is 69 plus 2. Measure of angle A is 71 degrees. Okay. The measure of angle B is equal to, and instead of x minus 4, I'm going to do 23 minus 4. So the measure of angle B is equal to 19 degrees. And you know you did it right because 71 degrees plus 19 degrees, okay, equals 90 degrees, which is complementary. Okay, number 22, angle A and angle B are supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180 degrees. Okay, let's do this one in a different color. The measure of angle A is 8x plus 100. The measure of angle B is 2x plus 50, which equals 180 degrees because they're supplementary. Combine your like terms. 8x plus 2x makes 10x. 100 plus 50 makes 150, which equals 180. I'm going to subtract 150 on both sides. And 10x is equal to 30. Divide by 10 on both sides. X equals 30 divided by 10 is 3. Again, I have to plug that x value in for the measure of angle A, which is 8 times 10 instead of 8x. 8 times 10 plus 100. The measure of angle A is 80 plus 100. Ooh, 80. Look at what I'm doing. This is not 8 times 10, guys. Big mistake here. It's 8 times 3. X is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. plus 100, so the measure of angle A is 124 degrees. The measure of angle B is equal to 2 times 3 plus 50. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 50. And the measure of angle B is 62. Oops. I am off my game today, guys. Sorry. 6 plus 50, so the measure of angle B is 56 degrees. You know you're correct because 124 and 56 is 180 degrees, so it checks out. Okay, use 21 and 22. Feel free to replay these examples in order to solve 23 and 24. It is the same process. Okay, so all the ones I skipped over, make sure you're completing those when you submit your work, okay? This is going to show to me that you understand what's going on. Use the examples I did. Feel free to keep replaying the sections over again. For example, watch number 7 to do number 10. Watch number 8 to do number 11, okay, and so on. Watch number 9 to do number 12. Okay, the worksheet is designed to function this way. Thanks for watching, and don't forget